Everyone to my channel. This is the voice behind Knitopia. I'm here again for my Knit and Crochet podcast, and I think this is number 3. So to be honest, I do not have a lot of crochet and knit work to show because I'm currently in the process of applying for grad school. The only crochet item that I have working in progress is this corner to corner. I gotta freeze there. It's this corner to corner Afghan, and I am almost finished with this one. And I'm doing it in 2 different colors. I'm using a Karen 1-pound yarn for the main yellow, and for this color, for this neutral brown and gray and cream color, I don't remember the exact color, but this is what I'm working on, and it's actually a very big Afghan that I'm working on. So I'm actually finished with my increased rows right now. I'm currently doing my decrease row, and I'm hoping to get this finished pretty soon. Can't say what time I'll get it done, but this is what I've been working on. And before you saw, I made a baby one, and I wanted to also make an adult size one. So I decided to take on that challenge, and I have to say I love how it's coming out so far. And I have so many Karen 1-pound yarns, and I really want to use it up. So I was like, maybe I could use them up if I make blankets. So I'm actually making this blanket. I don't know if I'll keep it. I'll just give it away because I have so many crochet blankets already for myself. So that was the only crochet project that I have to show today. And now I only have 2 knit finished projects that I have to show today. And I don't remember if I showed this hat before, but I have this finished beanie to show you that I was working on. It's so hard to see the colorway. And it's a beautiful little beanie, and I think it's perfect for the fall or for the winter. And I also have some leftover yarn from this one. And then the next my other finished knit project is this beautiful hat, and it's by Knit-A-Tube. She came up with this pattern a few years ago, and I recently purchased it, so I made it up in this nice speckled dye, hand-dyed yarn. And I have to say I love it. And I'm in the process of making a shawl the same color as this same yarn. So this is and then as I was doing it, I pulled up one of my stitches too much. So it made a little loop there. That's all I have. And then I only have 1 work in progress that I was knitting. So I currently purchased the Felix sweater. And so I started the Felix sweater twice already, and I did not understand how to do the wrap and turns. And when I finally figured out the wrap and turns, I made a mistake. So I had to pull that one out and start all over from scratch. So this time when I started the 3rd one, I had to put a stitch marker and where the wrap and turns were, because in the first one I did not put a stitch marker where the wrap and turns were. And then when I got to the part where I had to pick up the wrap and turns, I had no idea of how to find my wrap and turns. So I had to pull that back out. So when I finally understood the wrap and turns, I knitted it. My stitch count was way off. So I had to pull that one out again. So this is my 3rd one. And I have to say, so it's going good so far. I have not made any mistakes yet. And I'm hoping to keep it like that. And at the sleeves, there's a lace pattern, if you could see, right there. You just have to be really focused when you're knitting this sweater. It's a beginner's sweater, but I don't know why I was having so much issue with this sweater. And this will be my second sweater knitting for myself, and it required an Aran weight yarn, but I did not use an Aran weight yarn. The pattern also recommended that you could use a heavy worsted weight, and this is more of a lighter worsted weight, so I had to go down in needle size that you recommended, and I think I'm gonna knit a larger size since I went down in needle size because I do have a smaller bust. So I'm hoping to finish these increases row by today, and then I could work on the stockinette row. I'm hoping that I could finish it. I am, because it's a beautiful sweater. If you don't know it, please check it out. It is called the Felix sweater. Yes, I think so, the Felix sweater. But I have to say, so far I love it. It looks like it can't really fit me right now, but I'm on a 24-inch needle, so hopefully that will fit. And that is all the work I have in, all my work that I have in progress. And the yarn is, I don't remember the name of the yarn and where I got it from. If I am, I'll definitely link that in the description box. So that is all I have today to show for projects. So, a little that you did not know about me is that I am also an educator, or a teacher I should say, and a mom, and I'm a mom of a colored little girl. And of course she's colored, and of course she's a girl. So there's a few books that I love to read to my daughter, and I was thinking that I would love to share some of the books that I have read to her and some of the things that I've been doing with her to help her to build her confidence and to also establish that idea that she's beautiful, she's smart, she's intelligent, and she could do whatever she wants to do. So a routine that I have with my daughter is they have this poem that's called Hey Black Child. I've been reading that poem to my daughter ever since she was a baby. So the poem basically talks about that she's a black child, she's beautiful, she has the knowledge to do her best, and she has the knowledge to do her best, whatever she puts her hand to. No one could disencourage her. So it's just a poem that uplifts her. So I've been reading that every day to her from the moment she was born until now. And other books that I've been reading to her is this book that's called I'm Enough. And it just talks about a little girl in the book that goes through these different stages. And she's saying whatever she does, she's enough in it. And I'll just read a few pages of it because I really love it, and my daughter loves it too. And it's also a representation of her colors, so which I really love. It says, like the sun, I'm here to shine. So it's just a book motivating little girls of color that nothing is impossible and keep trying your best. And it's not only for girls of color, it's also throughout the spectrum for different backgrounds, because it does talk about having friends of different color, and love comes in different colors. So which is beautiful for her to see that love doesn't discriminate. And the second book that I love to read to her, but it's so long and she's so young and she does lose her attention span, but it's the book that's called Hair Love. So I want to teach her that she has different ear texture from everyone, and her ear texture might come in different. It might be coily, curly, it might be straight or long, but I definitely want to teach her about her hair, that it's different from other hair, and things that she could do to maintain her hair and to still know that she is beautiful. Doesn't matter the color of her hair and the color of her skin. So this is book number 2 that I love reading to her. And then the third book that I really love, it's called The Last Stop and Marketplace. And it talks about a little boy and his grandma, and they're going to the soup kitchen. And as he's going to the soup kitchen, his grandma is telling him about these amazing things. For example, he has a friend that has a car, so he asks his grandmother, "Why does my friend go in a car, but we have to take the bus?" The grandmother tells him that the bus driver is like a comedian. He tells him joke and so on. And then when he goes on the subway, he sees all these different things on the subway. And he's so curious. So he's asking his grandma about people who are in wheelchairs, and his grandma is explaining to him that we might all be the same, but sometimes we need different services or different ways to get around. And his grandma does a really good job explaining to him why people are different but why we should still love and care for each other. So this is my third book that I really enjoyed reading to her. But this book is also a longer book, so I cannot read this book to her in one sitting. So that's one. And then the other book that I really love reading to her, it's called The Shade of People. So it doesn't talk about people being colored. It just talks about people being shades. So it talks, and I really love this one because I love the way it didn't talk about people of color. It just talks about people being shades. And in this book, they talk about, for example, they have a description word for each shade of children or child in this book. It says, "Have you noticed that people come in many different shades? Not color exactly, but shades." So which I really love. And it has so many different shades in it. And it goes, there is creamy ivy, sand and peach, coffee cocoa, copper tan. So I just love the description of this book. And I think the pictures in this book are so amazing because it also shows so much diversity, and it shows kids loving each other and so many amazing things. And in the world that we're in today, there's so many things going on, and sometimes parents might be afraid to have those difficult conversations with their kids. But I have to say, as a teacher, the earlier you have these difficult conversations with the kids, the easier it is for them to have empathy and sympathy towards other people and their culture. So that is all I have today for my knit and crochet podcast, along with my children's book. So I want to say thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you next time in my next podcast. Have a wonderful and blessed day. And I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao.